Okay, most traders open Bookmap for the first time and immediately think the same thing. What the hell am I even looking at? Okay, a wall of colors, numbers, heat maps, volume, bubbles, order flow data everywhere, right? And the worst part, you know this information is supposed to give you an edge, but nobody actually explains what matters and what's just noise, okay? In this video, I'm gonna break down Bookmap from zero, okay? By the end of it, you'll understand exactly what the heat map shows, how to read liquidity, how volume bubbles work, and the few things you actually need to focus on to start using Bookmap like a professional. Let's go. Okay, so let's get started. Bookmap tutorial for beginners. I made a video like this last year, so this is the one for this year, just a little bit updated and refreshed, so let's go. All right, so we're gonna start from the beginning. The auction, okay? So let's think about how a market moves, all right? It's an auction. Okay, you think like the guys raising the signs, they'll buy this, they'll buy that, right? They throw up the numbers, what they're willing to pay for it. It's an auction, right? The market is no different. It's an auction between the buyers and the sellers. These are the people who move the market. Now, let's say that the buyers are going to outweigh the sellers, right? Let's say there's more buyers than sellers, they're stronger, then the price is going to go up. Each X right here is a trade, all right? And so that's what they're buying in whatever really market that you're trading, but in this case, we're talking about the futures market. But now, the buyers are going to outweigh the sellers, and that's why the price is going to tick up. It's going to go up one tick because the weight of the buyers was stronger than the weight of the sellers. Now, price is the last agreement, and it moves when one side gets impatient. That's exactly right. So the buyers get impatient and they start pushing a little bit harder. The price ticks up. It's literally that. Okay, so it's an auction. The stock market is an auction versus, in between the buyers and the sellers. Now, let's get started here. Aggressive versus passive orders. Now think back to whatever broker you use, and if not, just think of TradingView. There's those two different types of orders that you can put in the market. There's the limit orders and there's the market orders, okay? So market orders are the ones that almost all of us are going to be using all the time. Market orders are the ones that get you in the market immediately. You get filled right away. You don't care what price you pay for it. Just get me in as fast as possible. That is an aggressive order. That is a market order, okay? So you would be considered an aggressive buyer. Now, on the other side of that coin, there's something called a passive participant, passive orders, passive seller, passive buyer, all the same thing. Those are limit orders, except they're done by much bigger players, okay? At least the ones that we care about are done by much bigger players. Now, you have here an example. Passive sellers, resting sell orders, okay? So like I said, they're like the limit order. So that's the one that you place like really far away and it just kind of sits there and it waits to be filled. So you're not actually getting filled until price comes up and hits that line, hits that order that's resting there. Same idea. So all these passive sellers, these are resting orders right here that are waiting to get filled. So these are going to be really large participants who only want to get filled at a good price. So they want to have a good value for what they're buying. So they're not going to buy it whenever it's, for example, with the buyers, they're not going to buy it when it's most expensive. They're going to buy it when it's cheap. So these are passive buyers down here. They're waiting for price to get cheaper before they get into the market. And then vice versa with the sellers. These guys, they don't want to sell it whenever it's cheap. They want to sell it when it's most expensive. They want to sell for a profit. So that's really just how the market moves. Passive orders wait to get filled. Aggressive orders cross now. They move price. So like we said before, the market orders, the aggressive, the auction, that's the thing that moves price. So these are the people, sell now, buy now at the market. This is the current price, that line. And so as those people get more aggressive and they get in and out of the market, that's what's really driving the movement of the price, essentially. It's no more complicated than that. That's literally it, okay? So now we're gonna look at an example of the Bookmap. So just keep in mind these resting orders. That's what we're gonna pay attention to right now, okay? So all these resting lines right here that kind of sit there and float, those are the exact same things. Those are the resting sell orders up here. Those are the limit orders, the people who are waiting. And so we can actually see them live. We can see something called level 2 data, which is showing us where these orders are resting, where they're sitting, where they're waiting to be filled, okay? So vice versa, down here at the bottom, we've got the passive buyers with their limit orders just waiting down there, okay? And then these green bubbles, and I'll break into that a little bit more later, but these, obviously this line right here is representing price, whether it's going up or down. It's just a line instead of a candlestick. And the bubbles are showing something called the delta. And so the delta, let's say, for example, and we'll go more in depth in this, but let's say you have 10 buyers and you have 10 sellers back here, okay? And let's say you have 10 buyers and 10 sellers. The delta would be 0. Stick with me. If you have 20 buyers and 10 sellers, the delta is positive 10. If you have 20 sellers and only 10 buyers, the delta is negative 10, okay? So the delta is the difference between the ask and the bid, I think. So the delta is just what you need to know is the delta is the difference between the buyers and the sellers. That's it. That's at any given price. Okay, so anyway, point is that these bubbles represent the delta. So it kind of just shows you accumulation of what happened between the buyers and the sellers at that area. Okay, so all that volume transacted in that area, it's kind of showing you who won or what happened in that particular area. So it's a lot right now. Just focus right now on the resting orders. So the order book. Now this is where the delta is going to come into play. So this is where the last trade was at. This is like where the price is at right now. And now you've got those passive orders. This is just a different way to look at those resting orders up here. You can see them on the Bookmap, or you can also see them on something called the DOM, the depth of market. So this is the current order book, the DOM, whatever you want to call it. So now you can see, for example, those resting lines, each of this would be like one resting line. So up here at the top, we'd have 210 resting orders, or 87 resting orders, or 142 resting orders, and vice versa down at the bottom. Every number is people waiting in line to get filled. Okay, so those are each number represents a limit order waiting to get filled. Okay, and so then, for example, when you would have these get filled, that's when a delta would come into play. You'd see, okay, well, there were 98 buyers versus the 65 sellers. So you'd have a positive delta of like 33, 34, okay? And that's essentially how the delta would work, right? So the ask and the bid. So the selling is the ask and the buyers are the bids, okay? Now here is a real example of an order book, or at least what mine looks like on Bookmap. So it looks exactly like this. It's just showing you a visualization of it now. So you can see up here, there's 42 orders, right here, like just like this, right? So at the ask, 42 sellers waiting to get filled. And then down here, like for example, 35 buyers waiting to get filled. Now, next we have the heat map, okay? So we kind of know what these blue lines are now. We know that the price moving around is like a line. And then, for example, when each of these lines, like right here, each of these lines, when it gets thicker and darker in color, that means that there's more orders sitting there. For example, this 230 would be a lot thicker than this 54. Like it would be a lot darker and thicker. And you'll be able to tell, okay? So anyway, now the heat map is the order book, okay? So it's just one big visualization of all of these things that we've been seeing, okay? Like the order book, the depth of market, the DOM. The book map is one big visualization. So we're really just seeing all of these passive participants waiting here, and then the thicker and darker they get, that's going to be a big wall of orders, and we can break and bounce and reject off of these walls, all right? But the heat map is the order book painted over time. Watch price react to it, essentially. And then the faint line, small orders, if it doesn't even show up, then it's really faint. So like down here is going to be a lot stronger and thicker than maybe right here, for example. Okay, and so now you're going to see an example of bouncing, all right? So here you can see how absolutely thick these orders are. This is a picture of my old Bookmap. So you can see how we bounced off of it twice. That's a great example, and you can see certain areas are a lot thicker and darker than others, right? And so the darker the blue and the red versus this yellow is not as thick, but then this red is like really thick. And you can also see the current order book down here too. It's much bigger and thicker down here. So this is kind of just that same visualization of the order book, the DOM, it's all the same, all right? So down here, you could just kind of see an example of how we're gonna, bounce or break, or just see how price reacts to it. And now, I wasn't marking out in this particular example, I wasn't marking out the resting orders. I was marking out a key zone that I was looking at, and then these participants happen to line up with it. So that's a great confluence. Now, here's 3 signals, okay? Absorption. So absorption happens whenever you have a lot of, for this example right here, you have a lot of aggressive selling coming into a thick line, but the passive buyers, so the people at this blue line, are going to keep buying and absorbing like a sponge all of the aggressive sellers. So think of the aggressive sellers barreling down to the bottom right here. Think of that as the water, and the big passive buyers right here is a sponge. And so absorption is going to be the passive buyers soaking up all of these orders until eventually the sellers are going to run out of water. The sellers are going to get tired, exhausted, and they're going to run out of steam, and they're going to run out of orders to keep selling. And these buyers are going to keep buying it up and soaking up all those orders like a sponge until the sellers finally give up, and then the buyers take over, and then the price flips, okay? So that would essentially be like a great example here. Like these sellers are driving price down really hard, and these buyers are just picking it up here, 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 all the way down. These buyers, these passive buyers, are just picking this thing up, soaking it up like a sponge until these aggressive sellers they're tired, they give up, they're done. And then price flips, right? And that's whenever the buyers will take over and take control, when these sellers are absolutely out of gas. This is going to be the best example for the absorption, right? You see these aggressive sellers coming in down here, and these passive buyers take over, okay? And so that's what absorption really is. That's probably one of the most popular ones to focus on, one of the most important. Now you have pulling and stacking. I don't have an example screenshot of this. It's going to be something that you'll have to see live, but it's really just when you'll see these resting orders sitting up here. And mind you that these passive orders resting act as a magnet to price. So price always wants to seek new value and seek out these new orders. So they'll act as a value. And so what we'll do with pulling and stacking is essentially put up a bunch of orders to try to attract price a certain way. And then whenever price gets closer, they'll pull the order. So it wasn't, necessarily real, or they didn't have the intention to get them filled. So it's just a type of tactic. So that's definitely a great indication when you're in a trade or looking to take a trade, just to kind of see how these participants are acting. And then the last one is sweep and fail. Okay, so what you might see ICT refer to as a liquidity sweep. Now I do have a screenshot of that. So you can kind of see down here where the sellers are going to quickly, whoever is interested in controlling this market is going to quickly pop this market down and get a lot of these orders filled and potentially stop out the sellers in this thing. But it's just a quick pop down into a zone, and then you can obviously see we turn around and rally. Now, in this screenshot on the left, I really like this one. So you can see here where aggressive sellers actually broke through a wall. They broke through the sponge. So the sellers were stronger than the sponge, if that makes sense. The buyers were the sponge, the sellers were the water, and the water was stronger. They ripped through the sponge. Now that leaves a lasting mark on the market. When you have someone so strong step in, they leave a footprint, if you will. They leave, a part of them. It leaves a zone. It leaves a key level. So you can kind of see here, this is delta. We had a really positive delta right here, but we're going to use this idea where this large seller stepped in as a key level. And you can see where right here, these aggressive buyers had to get really aggressive and break through that key level. And then we came back down to retest it. So that's a really great idea as well. So you've got this key level here. We broke above it and then came back down to retest it. And we retested this extremely high positive delta right here at the, 89s. And then continued higher. So it's kind of just a sneak peek, kind of showing you some of these different strategies that you can build around these concepts and using this Bookmap. So now we have where plus when, okay? Where plus when equals your trade. Now we're not taking trades anywhere randomly, and trust me, you can fall down a rabbit hole with that with the Bookmap. But it's important that you only trade in certain areas that you're looking for, and then you wait for the right confirmation, okay? Now, the volume profile is going to show you where. So a thin spot, the level that matters, okay? So this video is not about the volume profile, but I'll kind of just touch on it. So you can see this thin area right here, what I will call a low volume node, ignore all this other stuff. I marked out that zone on the Bookmap. So where plus when equals a trade, right? So you can see here, this is my where, this zone that I marked out, this thin area right here, here's a volume profile too. This thin area, real thin area, called a low volume node is my where. And then these aggressive buyers stepping in off of this rejection of this thin area, that's my when. And you enter the trade and take this thing long, okay? And this is just, this is not a strategy video. This is just to kind of show you how you can build strategies around all of this data, okay? So the idea is that you're gonna create key levels, whether that's with the volume profile or whether that's with using the delta or just seeing where those really big bubbles came in and left an impression on the market. You can create levels off of that as well. You can also create levels off of where there was absorption. And then that's kind of going to be your where, but a lot of it's going to come from the volume profile, at least for the way that I trade. And then the Bookmap is going to give you your when you see aggressive participants step in, when you see a large player initiate the move. All right. So if you're going to see like a really large bubble, like right here, come in, you can say, oh, well, I don't want to be the first one to get into this trade. I'm going to wait for someone 100x my size or, 500x my size. Step in before me, and then I'm just going to follow them. Like, you can do that, and you can see them. So these really big bubbles will come in. You can see these massive participants step in, and you can follow in their footsteps, right? And then you can even wait for a retest of their footstep and then get in on that retest as well. But that's, again, another type of entry model. And I actually do have a video covering that. It's already on my channel, covering that style of entry model. So that's really it. So we covered the delta, we covered the bubbles, right? And what they are. It's just showing you an accumulation of what occurred at that price, at that time and price, So just in the moment, what happened? That bubble is showing you were there more buyers than sellers, who was more aggressive. It's showing you the delta, okay? So it's showing you aggregated volume, okay? And then here's like another great example. You can see how this is going to be like a key level right here. This really massive resting seller at the time. So that's another thing you can use as, for example, like a key level. Okay, so that's it. Now, if there's something in this video that didn't make sense, watch it over again because I'm sure I touched on it. And if not, drop it in the comments. And you can, if you can't reach me there either, or if you want more clarification, more than just the comment section, I have a free Discord. Text me in it. I answer questions in that thing every day. So join the free Discord and ask me there too. And I can give you a more in-depth answer. I have no problem answering questions about, something that I missed in this video or something I was kind of confusing about. But that's it. Subscribe. Thanks, bye.